Hello guys and welcome back. This is my review of Terrifier 2. If you would please like and subscribe, that would help me greatly and I would appreciate it. So I did my Terrifier 1 review. I voiced my thoughts and opinions on that film. And now we're at the second one. We're at the new dog on the block, the new kid on the street. And I gotta tell you, I loved every single second of this movie. So getting into the positives right off the bat, we gotta talk about that carnage. Oh man, that carnage was something else. That carnage was chef's kiss. If that doesn't make you at least gag a little bit, or at least squirm in your seat a little bit, there's something wrong with you and you need to go see a damn physician or a doctor. Anyways, that's the first positive. Second positive, I will say, is the acting is miles better than the first one. I actually loved Lauren Levera, who plays Sienna in this movie. I love David Howard Thornton, again, as Art the Clown, which, if you watched my first review for the first Terrifier movie, you would know that I wasn't quite ready to give him the mantle of icon status. And as of right now, after seeing this movie not one, not two, but 4 times, I am definitely ready to give this man the new horror clown icon status. Right off the bat, we start where we left off in the first one, where Art the Clown is dead. Presumably, obviously, allegedly, which is not the case, obviously, because we have a second one. So he comes back, and right off the bat, the first 5 minutes of this movie is brutal. And if you haven't seen this movie yet, I highly recommend you go watch it, unless you are someone of weak of heart or can't stomach gore too much. Then I wouldn't recommend either of these films. Especially not this one, though. This one takes the gore of the first film and amps it up by 1,000,000. I mean, I'm not joking. It's gruesome and it's bad. And I mean, it has every right to be. It's a 2-hour and 38-minute long movie. It's a long movie, and we'll get into the runtime and if that was a positive or a negative. My third positive is the story was much better. There were some points that I couldn't quite get behind on my first watch, and then the third watch, fourth watch, I was like, okay, I can kind of see where they're going with this. And I gotta tell you, I love the concept they're going with it. So this is my theory, and I'm getting off topic here, but this is my theory. Lauren Levera's dad and Jonathan's dad, I can't remember his name. It's Elliot something. I believe he created art out of his mind, and there was some kind of demonic force. It wasn't necessarily a brain tumor like they said. I think some kind of demonic force let him see the future of what was going to happen, who was going to come, and that's what I think happened. I think he created Art the Clown off of that and all that stuff that he saw in the eyes of the demon who was possessing him. Because if you remember, Lauren Levera, who plays Sienna in this movie, she's gone through so much in this movie. I mean, it's a lot. And the mother seemed very distraught in this movie, and we'll get into her in a little bit. But if you've seen this movie, you know what scene I'm talking about. There's a scene not long before a kill happens where Sienna's friend is talking to her boyfriend and says he got really abusive, talking about the dad. He got really abusive towards the end, yada, yada, yada. And I'm thinking, like, okay, well, why would he become abusive just because of cancer? Like, that wouldn't make any sense to me. So that's another point that I think kind of drives home that factor that it maybe wasn't cancer. And that was just my take. But moving on to my last positive of the movie, I gotta say that for the low budget that they did with this film, it looks exponentially better than the original. It is broader, it is more epic, it is more. It's just more. It's excessive. That's it. That was what I was trying to say. The costume design is miles better. Lauren Levera looks like a badass in her costume. I mean, everything from the first one that anyone liked about the first one, myself included, was amped up 1,000 in this one. And if you can't tell, I love the movie. So, now we're gonna get into my mixed section. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen this movie, I did not like the mom. I'm just gonna say it. I didn't like her acting. I didn't like her role in the movie. I didn't like it. And I'm not gonna blame the actress for the acting, and I'm not gonna blame anybody for it. It just might have been my own personal preference that I just didn't like it. However, when she died, I wasn't necessarily screaming, yes, thank God she died, because that'd be fucked up. But I wasn't weeping at that, because the way that she portrays a mother in this film is not how even a mother who has lost her family would portray a mother. And that just might be my own personal preference. I didn't like the mother's role in this movie. That's that. Nothing against the actress, nothing against Damien Leone and the crew for the script, anything like that. Nothing against any of them. I just preferred, you know, I didn't like her. That's that. Now we're gonna move on to the negatives, and the only negative I have to say about this movie, everything else is perfect. It's perfect, except the runtime. I've watched this movie 4 times now, and I felt the runtime every single time I've watched this movie. And on some occasions, I didn't necessarily, you know, really, okay, cool. Alright, cool. It's 11:30 at night, you know. The first time I watched this movie, I didn't feel the runtime at all. Second time I watched it, I felt a little bit more. Third time I watched it, I felt it drag. And the fourth time I watched it, it was just draggy. Maybe it's because those last 2 times that I watched this film in theaters, I had work that next day, early in the morning. That could have been a factor that came into it, but I just felt it a lot more. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about this movie. I mean, I love this movie from start to finish. I watched it 4 times. I think Damien Leone and David Howard Thornton are legends, mastercrafts at what they do. I loved it from start to finish. I loved it. And actually, to get off topic before I give you my rating, I did dress up as Art the Clown this year. Not to go trick-or-treating or anything, but to go to like Halloween parties, you know, yada yada yada. And I texted a picture to Art the Clown himself, and he actually texted me back. And I've texted him before, and he's texted me back. And it's pretty cool how, even though they're getting really popular right now, that they still care about their fans. And they still care about it, because make no mistake about it, I am a fan of the Terrifier movies. As much as I didn't like the first one, this one just amped the first one up for me. It made the first one better. I don't know how, but it did. This movie was just, it was great. It was great. I think Damien Leone, I'll be there for a 3rd one, a 4th one, a 5th one, a 6th one, a 7th one, a 100th one. I don't care. I'll pay my money to go watch those movies. I do think Damien Leone has a bright future, and so does David Howard Thornton. And my God, let's talk about Lauren Levera. She has a bright future ahead of her. She's incredible in this movie. And then Elliot Fulham, I think that's how you pronounce it. I was kind of edgy on that for a minute, but he has a bright future ahead of him too. Considering he's a YouTuber, I think I heard a review dude say that he was a YouTuber instead of more of an actor, but he was very good in this movie too. And then the last thing I'm going to leave you on is, if you didn't like the first one, and you didn't like the Carnage candy in the first one, you're not going to like this movie. I mean, it's filled with Carnage candy. It's Carnage. It's Carnage Express. And my sick ass loves it. However, what does that say about me? However, I love this movie from start to finish. I'll definitely be buying it on Blu-ray and DVD. And usually my rating system goes from 1 out of 10. And I'm going to give this one a whopping 8.5 out of 10. Maybe teetering to a 9 when I buy it on Blu-ray. We'll have to find out about that eventually. But if you are a hardcore horror fan, gorehound, go out and watch this movie. Support this indie film. It is making leaps. It is creating headlines. It's doing great. Go support it. I beg you to go support it. So yeah, that's it. That's all I have for y'all guys. If y'all guys want to drop a like, subscribe, comment, do what you do. All will be appreciated. That's about it. See ya.